Welcome back to Fire Hour. If you're new here, Fire Hour is about working on the best project you'll ever work on, and that's you. In today's episode, we talk about giving you a six-figure raise.
All right, let's keep on going. Grand Rising. Welcome to the call.
Thanks. Thanks.
Did you get any golden nuggets?
I did. For those of you that are going on lifestyle getaway, I believe you guys either probably leave tonight, some people have already left, or you leave tomorrow. Have so much fun. Man, lifestyle getaways are something else, right? Like make sure you post a lot and sharing your stories. Sometimes people they don't know what Thrive is, or they don't care about, vitamins or getting healthy or feeling better, having more energy, but they do care about having fun and what people are doing and like the energy, right? So you guys are going to create so much energy and so much momentum and have so much fun. You guys are going to, some of you are going to meet each other for like the first time in real life, right? Because most of us, like, we only see each other on Zooms. We only talk to each other in chats, right? It's completely different when you meet someone in person and that connection is so genuine. You know what I mean? Like you've been building a relationship with someone online. And once you see them, it's like there was no distance. It's like there was no screen in between you guys. And that's one of the things that I love about this community, about this culture, about, being with each other is like when we do see each other, like it's not weird at all. It's like, hey girl, or like, hey, like it's finally nice to meet you in person. And you just kind of just talk as if like you've met each other before because you have online, right? So I am so excited for all of you guys to be able to come together in person and just have fun, create stories. There's a lot of laughter, there's a lot of tears, there's a lot of just keeping things, very authentic and real. So I'm so excited for you guys.
Yeah. Lifestyle Getaway is dope.
Verge said she'll be going live in place of Oz Thursday. Okay. So if you guys want to see what it's like to be on a lifestyle getaway and just see what everyone's doing and just really feel that energy, hop on Verge's Instagram. She's going to be going live and like showing you guys everything, like a sneak peek in a way, right?
That's awesome. Is there any tips that you have when it comes to Lifestyle Getaway?
Oh my goodness. I mean, be very intentional with your time and the connections you guys make with each other. You never know who you might meet at the lifestyle getaway or what stories you will swap with someone that may change everything for you, right? Like you can really go there with one mindset and come home with another mindset. And when you do, just run with that momentum. And so earlier I was listening to, like you guys know, I've been listening to the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. It's really good. And the reason why it's taking me so long is because I hop around to different things, listening to different things. Uh, Sometimes I just like, if I feel like my mind's drifting off as I'm listening, I'm like, you know what? Like I need to refocus. So let me go hop on something else. And so I was just listening to the law of Mo, right? So this is out of order. There's 21. I think I went through like 6 or 7 already, but I figured like since I'm not able to get through like the whole thing, I'm just gonna hop around, right? So the law of momentum. Right. And so there is this lady out there, and she is the founder of It Cosmetics, right? And when you think of cosmetics, like what do you think of? You think of like these really glamorous models with beauty that's completely unattainable, right? Like that's how the beauty industry is, right? It's the beauty industry is carved out in a way where it's like you always feel like you got to keep up, right? You got to keep up with something, and it's never enough. There's a new color, there's a new product, there's a new look, there's a new whatever, right? And so she was talking about how sometimes, when you're trying to do something different out there, when you are trying to bring something to life that people aren't used to seeing, people aren't used to doing, it has not become a status quo yet, right? That it really takes a very strong vision and very strong leadership to continue on that path, regardless of the things that may or may not happen, right? So How many of you guys have like asked someone if they wanted to try Thrive or try a sample or buy a sample, or if they wanted to just know what you were doing? Like, how many of you guys have had like rejection after rejection and like no's? Like, anyone? We all have, right? Like, I've probably gotten more no's than yeses, right? But the thing is, when you are out there trying to do something that is not status quo, that's not quote unquote cool, or like no one's doing it, like it, it's different. Like, it really takes a strong mindset to understand what your vision is, why you're doing it, and to not allow others' opinions or rejections of what you're doing or who you are as a person affect you. And so she was talking about how she kept going to all these big beauty brands that are very well known, and they were like, no, like you're not the right fit for us. Your products aren't the right fit. Your models aren't the right fit, because she would use normal people, right? Like, she would use normal people like us with different skin colors, maybe skin discoloration, different shapes, different sizes, different heights, everything, right? Just different. And it was so different from what the beauty industry was used to seeing and doing. But she never gave up, right? She never gave up. And every time she would do that, her people were discouraged, right? She had people that came with her, that followed her, that was like, I believe in your vision. I believe in your leadership. I know who you are. And what we're doing is not normal, right? Twin, it's not normal, right? We ain't normal. So, they kept going. And so she would always have to come in and she'd be like, you know what? These beauty brands, like, they don't even see like how much this is needed, and she kept on pushing and pushing and pushing with her vision, and basically lifting up her team, letting them know, like, just because people don't see it yet, just because they've never felt it yet, just because they don't understand where we're going and how long we're willing to sacrifice until we get to our goal, doesn't mean what we have is not gold. It doesn't mean that what we have is not what people need. We know what we have is what people need. They just don't know it yet, right? So if you give up and you quit, the world will never know what they were missing on, because you decided that you were going to allow the negativity to seep in and just to stop, right? And so they were talking about momentum. And sometimes as a leader, you may or may not have a team, but it is up to you to be able to build that momentum, right? To be able to lift your people up and let them know, like, you know what? It doesn't matter like what it looks like right now. It doesn't matter what we're seeing in our face. We know what we have is gold. We know what we have is something that's so needed, right? And we're the first ones to catch the vision. We're the first ones to believe. And so, we're the first ones that are going to be doing this. And it's not always easy to be the first one to be doing something that no one else is doing. You know what I mean? Because people, they're not used to that. They're sometimes used to this sheep herd mentality where it's like, well, if you said that, then that must be true because 10 other people are saying that. Like, there's no thought for themselves. There's no, let's take a moment to think, to actually use our brains and to think for ourselves. Is this in alignment with who I am and what I want for my life and where I'm going? Does this align with my values, my character, my family, and like what my goals are, right? They just kind of copy and paste. And so in the world of copy and paste, be the ones that stand out, that see the vision, right? And you're going to pull your people into that vision with you, whether or not they even know it or not. And most of the time, they have no idea how much of a fanatic they can become. But it takes you to build that momentum and to lift your people up to be able to get to that finish line that you see so clearly. And so she was talking about the big mo. So it's momentum, right? And without that momentum, it's really hard to build something that you've never built before. It's hard to be able to do something, but you have to find the people, right? Like we always say, work with the willing. what does that mean? If they're willing to do it, work with them. If they're not, don't drag them, right? Like it's not easy to drag a dead body across the finish line, but it's easy to be able to run with someone and like lock arms and go, right?
Mhm.
So when you experience momentum, you just have to put like your like foot to the gas and just keep going and keep it up. And so I was listening to that as I was coming downstairs, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so good, right? Because as most of you guys know, Joanna just hit her six-figure mark yesterday, right? She hit her six-figure mark in this business in commissions. And it's a huge accomplishment. So congratulations, Joanna. I am so excited for you. You are not the first and you are not the last. And how did she do that? Momentum. Lots and lots and lots of momentum, coaching, mentoring, and going, and just full out belief, right? Like you had the vision, you locked arms with people, and you just ran and you kept going and going and going. And so it's just been amazing to watch you guys, because we know when momentum happens, like you see it, and when you see it, you're like, dang, something crazy amazing is about to happen over there, right? And for those of you that don't have that momentum right now, like you will, right? Like how long did it take? Like Ruby has been here for a few years, and she may have not experienced that momentum maybe in the first few years, right? But did she quit? No, she didn't quit. She kept going and going and going, because her belief and her vision and her leaders were so strong in their belief in her. And so things like that happen out of nowhere, right? Like Joanna was thriving with her for how long? And, she hit some VIP bonuses, right? And then she was like, I'm not sure about this. And she probably was just there dwindling for like a year or so, right? But once she met Ange, right? She met someone else that instilled the belief, the vision that was separate from who brought her in, right? You're bringing people into the community because someone in the community is going to inspire them. And it's not that you're not inspirational. It's just they need to hear it from one more person. They need more social proof. They need to like hear other people's ideas, beliefs, visions, right? And then she was like, okay. And then she just put on her running shoes and ran and took off, and she has not stopped running since then, and it's been like a year, right? So in this business, so many things are possible that you have no idea about, right? But you just got to have fun with it. So yes, Joanna said, Ruby's belief and consistency with Thrive helped me trust that something good is here. Yes. And so like if you quit and if you stop, like imagine if Ruby stopped. Imagine if Ruby was like, you know what? I haven't really been able to find someone that wants to run with me, or like someone that like has the same belief as me, like in my own customer base, or like with me running like a promoter, like, I just think I'll just stop. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if she did, like, what would have happened? Like hundreds and hundreds of lives that you guys have been able to change in the last year or the last few years would not have been changed. Hundreds and hundreds of people wouldn't even know about like Thrive and what you guys are doing and what we have here as a community, And the thing is, like, it actually extends further than a couple hundred, because just because you see a couple hundred people doesn't mean it only went that far. It actually went to a couple thousand, right? Because every time one person posts, if you have like 50 to 100 or 200 people watching your stories or watching your feed, regardless if they like, comment, or say anything, people are watching, people are nosy, people are waiting for you to quit. They're waiting for you to stop, right? And when you don't stop and you don't quit and you're like, hey, I'm still here, I'm still taking the product, I'm still with my team, like I'm still doing stuff, eventually they will fall into your plan, right? Or maybe they don't care for it, but maybe they might know someone that they know out there might have a pain point, and that person's like, man, I'm really struggling to lose weight, I need some energy, like, the people around me, they're not as motivated, I need people that are more motivated with energy, that want a healthier life, that want a better life, a community. And they might be like, I don't take this, but I know some girl that does, and she seems crazy happy all the time. Maybe that's what you're looking for. Like maybe I'm not looking for it, but let me just like connect you guys or something, right? Like, and that has happened. That has happened many times, right? And so you think that you've only touched a couple people, you've only touched a couple hundred, but if you've already touched a couple hundred, believe me, you've already touched a couple thousand, because as we post about each other, we repost about each other, and are just out there loud, like people know, people see, and they might not say anything to you, but they probably say something to someone that says something to someone that says something to someone else, right? And so never, if you never catch that vision for yourself or have that belief for yourself, then how will you continue the momentum to keep going, right? You won't. So if you don't have momentum, you are that momentum. Like, it is your responsibility to create that momentum, to be that momentum, and to be able to spark that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like,
I just wanted to talk about that.
no, congratulations, because that's like, especially in network marketing in the direct sales industry, the six-figure mark, that is a huge milestone because that changes lives. Okay. It's not just about your life being impacted. It's not just about like the people that, know who you are, but it's about everyone else. And so, Joanna, like what you said, Ruby's belief and consistency with Thrive helped you trust that something good is here, right? That right there is everything, because it's like what you guys say, like when you go on to touch someone else's like life, like you go on to touch many, right?
Yeah.
And like that's, I know that you guys both say it, like you, Jackie, and like everyone says it, and it's just something that's so true because again, it's the compound effect, but it starts with the belief. It starts with the belief of knowing what you want for yourself, and not even knowing, but going after it and saying yes. And then from there, uh being able to understand that like there is something that is possible for you to accomplish with this business. And so six-figure mark like that, especially in network marketing in this industry, especially if you've never been in it, for example, like this is huge. Like this is really huge. Like you're a part of like the 0.1% in the industry, basically, which is freaking crazy. She says, I see beyond the numbers. When I saw the six figures yesterday, I cried because I thought about everything that happened, the journey. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's always all about the journey. Like, I always tell people this, I'm like, don't let numbers fool you, because what really is going to continue to pull you and to keep pushing you during the hard times is the journey. Like, what did it take for you to become who you are today that you may have not been 12 months ago, 24 months ago, 36 months ago, right? Like, there's probably been so many epiphanies and life changes within you and around your immediate family, and then around your friends and your family and like your coworkers, that you've experienced, right? And so it's the journey, and it's the truly the life change that you feel within you and that you've helped others go along.
Mhm.
That's the real reward there. Like, that is priceless. You cannot put a price on changing someone's life and making them feel better and have a better outlook on life, right? And so you guys will hear that time and time and time again. And it's those things that like inspire you and like put something into your heart that you cannot replace. And that's why people decide to keep going. It's not for the money, it's not for the numbers, it's for the people, it's for the community, it's for the culture, it's for changing something in yourself that you may have not believed once possible, but being able to be that momentum you created within yourself to be able to spread that momentum to others, right? Oh, you're crying again.
Do you want to bring her up?
Yeah. Come on and cry. Come on and ugly cry here with us. If you want to.
We welcome it.
We're all a
Hi.
crying family here.
Good morning, you guys. I'm trying to find my glasses. I'm as blind as a bat right now, and Ryan and Ari are sleeping. I don't know where to put my glasses, but anyways, oh my gosh, I'm just crying again because I got off work yesterday at 7:30 in the morning. No, actually, they let me go home early because we had low census, and I knew yesterday was payday. And I had talked to Jackie the night before, and she was like, "Hey, how close are you to six figures? And I was like, I think I'm hitting it with tomorrow's bonus check. So she's like, okay, prepare a selfie, like getting me prepped for it. And um, when I got home, I went to sleep. And, Ruby's like, I get a text message from Ruby right at like 10:30. She was like, payday dropped. She was like, I want to see your check. Show me. And I was like, fuck. So then, I log in. And when I seen the numbers, I was like, what the fuck? Like, whoa, wow. And the first person I texted because he wasn't home was Ryan. And, Ryan has always been like my outside cheerleader. He came from MLM. He doesn't even have a college degree or anything like that. He's been in sales, but everything that he's done, like I look at Ryan like as my mentor too, because if I didn't have him, I probably would have quit this business a long time ago. And he's always the one like telling me there's money in network marketing. He was like, you just gotta go for it, don't give up. And he's always been the one encouraging me. And I texted him and he was like, of course he was excited for it. And then it's funny because Jackie and I were making fun about, that. Like, well, did they take their wives to vacations before? And I'm like, no, but they had a lot of bitches before. Yeah, I texted Ruby right after. She was the second person I texted. And, it was just a special moment. Like, I kind of went down that line for me. Like, when special things happen, who do you text? I texted Ryan, my husband. I texted Ruby. She's been there for me since the very beginning. For the people who didn't know, when I took a break from Thrive, um, because of health reasons and because of, a lot of personal reasons, Ruby was still there by my side. I didn't just stop Thrive because I was skeptic. It was because I was really going through something hard in my life. And then I texted Ange. I texted her because I'm like, she's mentored me since last year. And she's always believed in me too. Like her and Ryan and Ruby are like my trio of like people that I can lean on and depend on when it comes to this business. Like it's crazy. And then just looking at those numbers, like I said, the 100, whatever, I looked like it gave me a flashback of just everything we went through. And if you see Ruby's post story to me, like she broke it down to the T from the time I lost 4.4 pounds on detox that I couldn't lose by myself to getting on 3 steps on my first day to flipping to a promoter to, that whole journey. And then helping everyone along the way was the biggest thing. Everyone who came to me and said they wanted to promote, we got to business. January was a crazy month. I was in Japan and we rank advanced a whole bunch of people. And I told Brian at that time, I was like, I'm sorry, I know we're on vacation, but I really need to take take care of this. It's month end. I got to do it. And he understood. So just going back to those days and then our first mingle and celebrating everybody's 12Ks, hitting 40K, and then, the goal of like helping everyone get to their rank, and then unexpectedly even hitting 80K. I was not running for that. I never got into this business because of money. I was already working as a nurse and, you're already making six figures as a nurse. So for me, it was never about the money. It was about how I felt with Thrive and how I wanted to share that with everyone. And then, of course, later on, the business side of it, I never even looked at it as anything else but, oh, I'm making commissions here and there, but I was still working 3 jobs. And that's when I realized, like, whoa, if this business can really work. And I remember having this conversation with Ryan. He was like, if it makes sense, quit your other jobs. You're getting burnt out, And he was like, as long as it makes sense and as long as the income is fine and it makes up for the jobs that you quit, then yes, quit those jobs and go full force with Thrive. And that's what I did in November of last year. I quit my final job as a psych nurse, and that job was just so draining. I mean, it was it was fulfilling at the same time when you see patients actually healing from whatever mental health issues they're going through. But at the same time, it was just another hour drive for me just to get there. If it was local, I probably would have stayed. Like, mental health is so important, you guys. And that was part of my journey too, was learning to fix my mindset. I remember Ange would always tell me, "You're too emotional. You need to fix that." And I'm quick to anger. I am a water sign, but my rising sign is a Sagittarius, it's fire, and I'm quick to anger. I'm like a boiling pot, just waiting to go loose before, like, literally. And you know, it's just crazy just seeing that growth also within myself. That's what makes me emotional, because I was a different person that I was last year. And even my kids mentioned it. Like, we were on vacation in July for Riot's birthday. We went to SoCal, and there was this lady who was giving us a hard time. And back then, I would be that type to be like, "No, F that," like, and start arguing with people in public, like, who were giving me a hard time. It was so bad. And then my son, my older son, he was like, "Mom, you're just gonna let her talk to you like that?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "What's it gonna do? She's not gonna help us if I yell at her and all this." He was like, "Wow, really?" All of a sudden, because he's quick to anger too. He's like, "Wow, you're just gonna, like, it's very." I learned that it just came with pride, a lot of pride that I had to let go and just, not take anything personally. So with this business takes a lot of internal growth. And I mean, I've mentioned to Twin before, I was like, God has helped my marriage. And she's like, "How so?" And just those little things, husband and wife are always going to bicker. We're always going to argue about something dumb, but it doesn't escalate to that point where it's like, what the heck? Why do we even, what did this turn into? Like a whole, that self development didn't just help my business, but it helped me personally too, with my husband, my friends, my family. Learning not to take things personally, having that thick skin, and with people, it's like customers who I try to get on Thrive. I just I don't know, there's just a way that I talk to them where they try to tell me no, but then I'll kind of flip. I've just learned that to flip it into something where it's like, "Okay, I get you, but I'm here." Um, and just flowing with, I can't even explain how I'm able to do that, because people who didn't thrive with me last year and are just saying now yes to me now, like Crystal said, is they're just waiting for you to fail. They're just waiting for you to stop thriving. And I think that's my driving force, like, is to prove, like, I'm not going to stop this. Whether, I've heard it before that you can make the biggest money here in network marketing, but there are dry months, there are dry years. It's like that in sales. I see that with Brian all the time. It's like up and down. And he's always told me, when you're at your highest in sales, because I was a spoiled brat. I was like, "What the heck? You make this money, like, let's go shopping, let's go somewhere," and he was like, "You don't understand. Like, when you make, commissions like this, you need to save it, because you never know what's going to happen the following month, and this and that." So it's like a whole bunch of just realization when, with me, I've always been that type of person who made money based on hourly pay. So making the commissions is definitely different. And it's just, yeah, it's a huge mindset. And I talked to Andrea on the phone yesterday, and she was talking about that 1%. And I never thought that I would be that person, but it does take a lot of grit. It does take a lot of just going for it. And it's funny because, I'm just rambling, but I just want to say this one part is, when Ryan he grew up with learning network marketing, all his mentors told him to read books. So when he knew that I was ready to, like, make that new step, he went back to his parents' house and he brought home like over a dozen books of self-development and a lot of network marketing books. And he was like, "Okay, these are here if you want to read them." So it's just good to see and, like, have that firsthand, I guess you could say, like, trading from from our morning calls, and then having my husband personally there to kind of help me with that too. He's always been a positive person, and it's just, he's always been very nice, and we just kind of, I guess you can say, like, intertwined with each other, where I taught him to be stronger and not let anyone walk all over him, whereas he taught me to become softer and, not anger so easily. So, it's just like, it's a lot. Like, if you guys are thriving and your spouse is not in it, I feel like that's the biggest thing too. And, if you're single, like, we're here. I mean, like, there's so many single boss people here. But if you are in a relationship and you are married or whatever it is, like, you guys have to lean on each other. And, I just feel like that's the biggest thing. Like, everything starts with your foundation from home. And yeah, I was single. Looking at the chat. Jackie, you're so funny. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of went off topic because it's crazy just looking at the whole journey. I just end up talking about everything because everything that I just talked about is what literally funneled me into this area where I'm at right now. And just, it's so important, those welcome calls, finding out what people's goals are. Because if they want it just as bad as you do, you already know which direction to go. I mentioned this on my call with Amber, categorizing your people and just trying to figure out what they want. Because, Crystal, I love that analogy you said, you can't drag a dead body to the finish line. I love the morbidity of it, but the concept behind it, I love it.
I tried
But
to
it's so
drag
true.
so many. That's why, like, in the beginning, I didn't know any better. Like, I was just ignorance on fire. I was like, everyone needs to thrive. Like, you are not living if you are not thriving, right? Like, and so I was just like, and what you're saying about how you had to learn what people wanted, right? Because sometimes we're like, oh, like, you want this just as bad as I do. I know you do. Or maybe you don't know yet, but you're going to, right? And it's great to have that excitement and that energy and to instill belief in people. But people will show you what they want, and it's not about your timeline for them. It's about their own timeline and their own journey of self discovery. So all you can do is just be there for them, support them, love them wherever they're at, but also having like the very serious conversations in a way, right? Like where it's like, hey, what do you want? Because like I'm here to help you, whether it's you're just trying to lose weight and feel better and, make a couple $100s a month to like help with this and that. Like, what do you want, right? But sometimes people also, they don't know, like they really don't know and they don't believe in themselves enough to think that they can achieve and have bigger dreams until they see you do it. And once they see you do it, like I'm pretty sure you've discovered like some of your team starting to change their mind about maybe where their goals once were, right? Because they saw you achieve it. But yeah, like seeing where people are at, like you have to work with the willing. And there's been so many times where we're like, well, this person's on my team. I don't have anybody new. So I'm just gonna keep dragging them. But like you just have to like let them go and just know that, just let them know I'm here for you, but you gotta like move on, right? But I don't think you went off topic at all. Like it's more than just the commissions that you make here, but it's really the person who you become. Like, and I'm so proud of you. Like, all those changes that you had within you to be able to be like, you know what, this is how I am. And I don't want to be like this anymore. And in order for me to grow and to lead people, like, I have to change. Right. And so, having that mentality, it's not easy to come to a realization that sometimes you are the person blocking your own blessings. Right. So I always tell people like blame yourself, right? Like there's so many people and so many things and so many situations that you can blame. But at the end of the day, if you blame yourself and not in a way where you're beating yourself up and getting all depressed, right? But if you're blaming yourself in a positive way, like, hey, what if I was to think that this is like my fault? What if I was to think that I am the one to blame? Then you start looking for your own solutions, right? Like you take your power back in the fact that you have full control over the solutions and the changes that you make within yourself. So I absolutely love hearing your story and your journey of becoming. And then what Julie said, yes, learning what people want and going step by step with them, because my excitement is to the roof. Everybody should be on Thrive with us. I am done dragging people. Yeah, like there's always going to be someone new out there, right? Work with the willing. There's someone else new that's out there that wants it. And it's easier to run with people, right? But yeah, I love also how Ryan has been such a huge part of your journey, because, you know, when we met at Thrivepalooza back in April and we started talking, we're like, oh my goodness, like we have so many similarities, because we both came from like real estate, right? Like I came from like the lending and the finance side, and I went into real estate. You were doing real estate. And so we kind of understood um like each other and like kind of what our journey has been. And so I love that he was there in this industry before you, because most of us were not from this industry. Like this is my first time in network marketing or direct sales. Like I didn't even know it was what it was until, I don't know, Jackie, like I think it was after a few months, like you were just like, oh, you know, this is network marketing, right? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, but like I don't care. Like I love how I feel and I love helping people, and this really aligns with my values and who I am as a person. So if I can make some money with it, if I can make a couple $100s a month, great. That's just like bonus money that I didn't expect to receive. Like I'm already like helping people. Like Joanna, you're a nurse. Like nurses naturally help people. Like they help people for a living and they just do it, you know? So I love your journey. I love the fact that Ryan was there helping you along the way, because that's like shun for me, right? Like he came in Insta Daddy, same like Ryan with you, and he knew network marketing and he was like, what? He's like, you hit the six-figure mark in under 12 months with no experience and like you don't know nothing. And I'm like, no, I didn't know nothing. Like, right. I wasn't even listening to maybe Jim Rohn at that time, which is like the godfather of like personal development, especially for network marketing. Right. And so, but it just shows you like you don't need to know all the things. You don't have to have, you know, all the things. You don't, like, you just have to be excited and you have to be coachable, right? Like I relied on Jackie every single day. We were in chats. I was like, what do I do? What do I say? What if someone says this? What if someone says that? But it's also in the communication, right? Like if you guys don't communicate where you're at and what you need and what you're feeling inside, like people won't know. And if they don't know, they can't help you, right? So it's a lot of getting out of your own way, being out of your comfort zone, and like asking questions and being coachable. And if they say do this, just do it, and then give them the feedback afterwards, right? To see if you translated what they said to what you did and it went correctly. So I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that you have like your partner with you in this, because it makes it a lot harder if you don't have a supportive partner that's with you, right? Because then it's like that's your foundation, that's your home, that's your family, you know. And doing something that someone else is not like approving of or like with you 100% on, it makes it very difficult in this journey, right? But it is still possible. We have seen it possible. It just depends on like your grit and your willpower. And it's funny when you mentioned about the books, because when Shun first moved in, he moved in with like boxes and like boxes and boxes of books. And I was like, who the hell reads all these books, you know? And they were all on like personal development, mindset, and skill sets. And I was just like, wow, you know, like a lot of people say a lot of things about this industry. But the thing is, like, when you see everything, like, and ask yourself questions, you're going to start to see that, like, people from this industry, like, there's a lot of people in this industry. They really do what they love. They live a life they love, and they're always willing to go the extra mile to continue to add value to others and add to themselves. And so it truly was about your journey and everyone else's journey in here, in their becoming and who they become as a person, right? And I know for sure, like, if it was not for Thrive, I would not be who I am today. I would not be up at 6 a.m. doing a Zoom in front of a bunch of people teaching or like sharing or like talking to people, right? Like I would just be like in my own, like, wake up, work, hustle, 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 and then like take care of what I need to take care of, be that responsible person I always was, and then just like clock out, right? Like when Thrive came into my life, I feel like I finally had more. Like I had more life to live. It just adds so much color. And so what I like to explain to people sometimes is like, you don't know what Thrive is, but here's what it's like. Imagine you've only seen in black and white like your entire life. You've only seen black and white. And all of a sudden one day you come into color and now you see colors now. I'm like, that's like the kind of life change that like Thrive brings for you, right? And it's hard to experience or know unless you do know. I think, Sean, we also wanted to unmute a few people just so you guys could like share. Yeah, I love my sleep. I freaking love my sleep. Jackie knows that. I was always sleeping. I still love my sleep though. I still have to get like my bare minimum. But yeah.
Do you click
Yeah,
on-
here. Jackie. Hi.
Hi guys, rise and thrive. I'm still in bed and I like packed really late last night because I'm heading to LA to drop off the kids and then I'm heading to Cancun after. And you guys, it has been like quite the last couple days and like I've been watching the hurricane like moving that way and it was a little hard to get excited. But it's finally like coming and Friday is going to be sunny, so that's great. But yesterday, I was telling a little bit of the story in the chats and stuff, and I just wanted to talk about Joanna for a second. This is literally her moment. She's got to enjoy this and be really present, right? And she is like the whole day yesterday, she spent kind of just soaking in all the feels like, she's this is what you need to do. For anybody who's here, right? Anytime you have wins and like even like losses and just everything, you need to lean in, right? And that's exactly what she does. Like I get screenshots all the time. Ange gets screenshots, Ruby gets screenshots. Like she shares her journey with us in the background, like, hey, I'm really close to this, or I'm like one thing away. And that's what you need to do, right? We've always done that from the beginning. Like it totally brings me back and remembering those things. And this is why it's so important to just kind of like, it's important, right? To have these experiences with your team. So then that way you always stay in your own gratitude because you remember that you were once like that, right? And it keeps your fire lit, right? But yesterday, like it was so crazy because she sent me that and I was like, oh my God, like that is so crazy because she's part of the six-figure club now, right? And last year in 2023, at the end of the year, it was just like, she had met with Ange. She was already like serious when she met with Ange, but that like instilled her belief like times 1,000, right? Because she was coming back into her business and like she said, she stopped for reasons that they were personal, right? And she came back to it. And you know what, another thing, Ryan was actually thriving the whole time, so she had Thrive all around the house, right? Like Ryan was thriving, it helped him tremendously. Some of you guys may have heard that story, but she met up with me in like during New Year's. She was there. I don't remember what we were doing in Vegas. I think I was just there, but she was there for reasons, right? She brought all her kids. And, I went to go meet up with her because I had never met her in person. And, she had been here in the community for like, 10 months or whatever, even when she took a break. And, her team was starting to blow up. I think probably during that, it was like December 29th. She was a brand new I don't remember, maybe a brand new 12K, something like that. But she had just earned like a mere shy of $4,000, you guys, closing out the year, her first year in Lavelle. Oh my God, were you already at 25K in December? There's no way. How, like, your earnings would have been way more, but maybe just closed off the month at 25K, right? But things ramp up very quickly here. And, but she finished off the year 2023, mere $4,000. And yesterday, like her check, you guys, her check brought her over six figures in lifetime earnings. And it also brought her over six figures for 2024. And last year, Lavelle started celebrating all of the leaders who would make like six figures in a year, right? That is incredible. I'm sure Ryan is so proud of you. Oh, by the way, I don't know what that gift was. That gift for your achievement yesterday? Because I did see he like bought you something, which is so sweet. But my point in saying this is things can turn around very quickly for you. And in December last year, she was already showing up like a leader. She was so curious. And the thing that runs through my head when I think about Joanna is ask how and apply. Diamond emoji. Okay. Like diamond emoji, Ange has her diamonds group, but like the diamond emoji is like ask how and apply. And I say apply because you have to apply pressure. You have to ask how and apply, right? You can't just ask how and then just ask whole and then just disappear. And, Maria Dillard, she's our 8-figure mentor, right? She's literally like the master promoter, master distributor of this entire company. Actually Tony Stratham is her sponsor, but she always says, if you are asking for help, make sure that you've tried, some of the things. Don't just ask for help and like not do anything with it. You know what I mean? Like when somebody asks for help, they want to know, or like, your mentor will want to know, okay, well, what have you done? Right? Like, are you asking because maybe you don't know, but like, you know what I mean? Like if there's a point where you're stuck in your business, but Joanna has always been somebody that asks. Like I remember meeting up with her and she was asking all these questions like, well, what do I need to do? Well, how do I do this? And, I came from this business before and things were like this, and Thrive is way more like, sustainable. And like, I can't believe how easy it is to maintain if you just do X, Y, and Z. Like she got it, right? But like even along the journey, right? Every little milestone that she hit, it was always how, with her leaders and stuff. When her leaders were up and coming, it was always like how do I tell her? And she gets out of her own way. You know what I mean? Even as strong of a person that she is, she does not she lets go of control, and she will let the leaders, right, step in for her. She will. Like I've seen it, but I mean the main thing, ask how and apply. Like she's literally asked, like, how do I make this? How do I make that? How do I get to 200K? How do I become an LV millionaire? And like, the answer is like, we'll give it to you very straight up, very blunt, there's a roadmap. You know what I mean? There is a roadmap. And she gave herself a six-figure raise, like in one freaking check yesterday, right? One check, less than a year. And that is a lot, right? Like that is, I can't even imagine, picking up a job or anything that would pay me six figures, like in such a short amount of time. So anyways, congratulations, Joanna. Like I'm always the one like that kind of paints it out in like a, like, do you know just what just happened? Like, and kind of tell you the steps on how she got there. But like, she's not going to be the last person, you guys. Like, this is just the first of many, right? That are on her team, not just her team. There's going to be more popping on like other teams and legs. And let me just tell you, if you have gone through a season in network marketing where you have started to lose your belief, right? You need to step back into gratitude. You really do, right? Because anything can change for you quickly. Some of you guys have, really big organizations that you guys have built. Trust me, I've been through it. Like if anything, the last this past year, even 2 years, were some of the most trying years I had in network marketing. Things that I thought would never happen to me happened to me. Like that, like in the business, out of the business, and you guys have to go back into gratitude. And it is a team and a whole movement and just the whole community, right? Of what I see in them that makes me just say, like, you know what? They're no matter what I'm going through, there are still people to help and my purpose here, and I'm still needed, and like all this stuff, like there's so many things, like I can't even put it into words. Some of you guys like know the struggles, but one day, if you are ever that person in network marketing that is struggling, you guys can come to me and I will guarantee you I've either been through it, I've watched other leaders who have came to me and confided with me, like sidelines, other sides of the country, not even on our team. They call me and they're like, Jackie, I need you to set me straight. I need you to tell me, like, I need you to put me in my place because they go through those moments, right? But, like always shift it back to gratitude. And Joanna, you inspire us. We love you. I'm very, very happy and proud to be continuing to make these banners for, I made a 6-figure banner like long ago, but I had to remake this one like compliant because, compliance is always on us, like always on us. I'm pretty sure they're going to be scanning through your thing because, oh, a new 6-figure earner. They're going to scan you. They're going to scan all of us. So I had to make a compliant banner. And your little banner, the little 6-figure thing, that scrolling banner, you guys, like in Sacramento, right? We were at this mastermind. I brought a whole bunch of like little goodies and stuff. I slipped that into her gift bag specifically because I'm like, she's gonna be the next one, right? I might have slipped one into Abby's. I didn't have too many, but it was perfect. It was literally perfect. Those things, they had like a whole bunch of them at Thrivepalooza. And I thought you already got one, but I wanted to put it in there because I was just like, let me just put it in there. And yeah. So anyways, it's there. I mean, I got a big one. I can give it to you. I have a bunch of those 200K things. I get them every day or every Palooza. But yeah, like anyways, I'm done talking.
Thank you for sharing. I always love when you speak. It just takes me back, and like you guys, Jackie's been through all the ups and downs throughout like this whole process. Like like we have grown so much together. Like we weren't even really friends before we started thriving. And we just gotten so close because we had something to like really bond over, right? And we didn't know like how good of friends we would have been. And had it not been for Thrive, like our friendship wouldn't have blossomed into this like sisterhood, into this lifelong thing. So along the journey, you guys will go through ups and downs. Like we're talking about deaths, divorces, freaking domestic stuff, right? Domestic violence, right? And you guys will go through a lot. And just know that you always have us on your side as your team to lean on because we've been there, we've done that. Sometimes people take breaks, they fall down, they get back up. And as long as you are still here for your people and your community, they know that they always have a safe place to return back to, right? Like through thick and thin, we've just always been here, very grounded and rooted in our purpose, in what we're doing and how many lives we want to continue to change, regardless of like ranks or commissions or money. Like those are all like the bonuses. Those are all of like the journey of your becoming. But we are always here. So, stick and stay and you'll get your pay, but really like growing into the person you're going to become throughout this process with the right leaders. You never know what's going to happen for you, but you got to just really stick and stay and believe in yourself and be very coachable and communicate. So yeah, thank you. And then Ange, are you on? Ange, do you want to come on and say a bit? You're
Sure.
probably packing.
Oh, guys. So you guys already know I'm already crying and bawling my eyes out. Okay. Let me get it together. I want to say, like, Joanna, you are I'm so thankful for you because because you're such a courageous, heartfelt, compassionate, hardworking individual. And something that I respect about you is that you're so reliable. You keep your word, you're honest, and you apply yourself. I'm not crying because of the accolades. It's always been the transformations for me, you guys. Joanna has been somebody that I have been teaching every single day. She calls me every other day. She knows my, when I'm busy or when I'm not. She does ask a lot of questions. But, she applies herself. And, I'm going to say, people make it, she does a lot, you guys. She does a lot behind the scenes. And she's somebody that makes it look so effortless, right? But because I've talked about flow state, she has found so much passion in every step of her work, you guys, and that she sees the pros and the cons, that she's getting her time back, and that she's taking products that she loves anyways. And, I always talk about the 1% because the 1% is actually self-development attached to your comp plan. It really had nothing to do with the money, but she's really changing with it. You guys, I've seen it firsthand. And if you guys don't know Joanna from the beginning, she has been a tough cookie. Okay. She is emotional. She's like, Ange, she's always calling Ange, Goody, Ruby, like this and that. I'm like, girl, she can take criticism, you guys, and she can take it and change. This is what I love most about Joanna. She's taken what I've taught her, not only in this business, but personally. And she has changed for the better. And every single day, you guys, I've seen her change lives. And you guys, she's been through all the same things that you all have, like self-doubt, not signing people. Every step of her journey has been so transformational. And I want to say, congratulations, Joanna. You literally are coachable, right? You literally apply yourself. And she's hungry, you guys. She's hungry for more. I love her FOMO-ness. She's always FOMO. She's like, Ange, I don't want to sleep because I feel like I'm missing out. I'm like, girl, that's what I love about Joanna. She's eager, and curiosity will always lead you to that next step. She's so courageous, you guys. She is such, and you know what I love about her? She's so strong. She knows who she is, and Joanna hasn't showed up to be anybody else but herself, you guys. And that's the true secret sauce in this business. It is not easy to be an enroller and a builder, right? And do all the things, be a mom. They don't talk about those things. But in order for you to really build a sustainable, solid business, and we talk about this, she's learned to fail, like our failures. How can you sustain this business without burnout? Is doing all the things that is purposeful for your life. And it's so funny that she talked about Ryan, right? Because we talk about the home life, and that's why we align, you guys. It's like you want to align with mentors that really align with you, right? Obviously, me and Joanna align a lot. Like I feel like she really does. We resonate with each other. She's a giving person, you guys. We're it's crazy how we're a lot alike. And you guys see Joanna all over the place, like at events, always there for her team. Like she deserves all the things, you guys. It's off topic, but she's so accessible, and it's not. She is what she said she is, and she shows up. Success is about showing up, and she shows up, right? But besides the fact, your life hack is your partner, right? It's your partner, and behind the scenes, kind of like Sean, Peter, all the people that, have amazing support, right? Once upon a time, they didn't support, but they will support when they see a woman that knows what they want. Okay. You got to really stand strong in what you want and what you believe until they believe you. Right. And I want to say this just because Ryan's an amazing partner for her. And I remember even just a couple of days ago, I like to share, amazing things that happened in our business too. I'm like, oh my God, look at Joanna to Peter. I'm like, she's the GOAT, her whole team, like sharing the accomplishments. And I was like, oh, they're good. She's 80K. She's going to get 200K. And you know what Peter says? I was like, oh, she's good now. Have you seen that quote? where the teacher appears when the student is ready and the teacher disappears when the student is ready. So I was like, oh, maybe this is my time to let her go. This is what Peter tells me. No, your work is not done. Your work is not done until you take her all the way to the top. You guys, and that's what your life partner tells you. They support you. They tell you, you know, you're not done with your purpose. And I'm going to tell you guys, Joanna, she's an angel to me, because you guys know that we lost rank all the way down to 130K. And I think it was August or September. Wait, one of those. And wow, you guys don't understand, like what Jackie was saying, you go through your times. I was looking for purpose, and Joanna showed up. Okay. Joanna showed up, and purpose is not something that you think of. Okay, you guys, this is when we had a pivot. We were a 130K sales team. I had to do something different. So I met up with Joanna. I was like, wow, this girl is so sharp. She is like intelligent. Her energy, you know, she has integrity. She's somebody that I can partner up with. And like I said, she's given me purpose. And Joanna, thank you. Because I say this to you every day. Our team will not be where it's at today without the people, okay? And you need people with true integrity that really is honest and that would lead you to the next step. So I'll say this again. We are nothing without the people, okay? We can have the systems, the tools, the strategies, but you gotta be people-centered. At the end of the day, the motive has to be good. You gotta do the right things, because 10 years from now, our team is gonna be here. 10 years from now, there's gonna be more people signing with us. Because why? They respect what we've done, what we built, our experiences, you know, who we are. So thank you, Joanna, for representing, you know, I always say this, you guys, my dream, she's better than me. She's going to be extraordinary. And she's literally living my dream for me. Because I remember telling Jackie I was tired of being the only one. You guys, I was tired of being the only one. It's not fun. It's really fun when you take your team to the top with you. And I've always have this whole journey. So Joanna, this is your time to really make such an impact on the lives around you. And I'm going to be there all the way to the top. Like Peter said, my work here is not done. It's never done. You guys, you never arrived. And remember that you can continue to learn through the lives of others, to the new people, you know, every single person. Learn from Joanna. You guys, there's a lot of elements in her characteristics that you must see what she's doing. The one thing that she has that a lot of people that are afraid of, bitch is not afraid to ask. Bitch is not afraid to ask, right? She's like, hey, Ange, so can you really make $100,000? I was like, and I laughed. You guys, seeing is believing, right? Yes, the fuck you can. You can make so much money here, depending on, you know, whatever the pace. But I'm going to tell you, your self-development is attached to the comp plan. If you're not self-developed, you'll go fast and your checks will not stay because you're not mindset. Your spirit is not there. You didn't take the necessary steps to work on yourself, to know how to shift things and pivot and go through seasons, right? This what makes and builds your character. Whatever season that you're in, it's your winning season every season. It's either your season that you are, you know, momentum, or the season that you're going to shape up, build character. You guys, you know, the hero's journey. I've always, like, ever since Shun has taught me about the hero's journey, you guys need to look into that, right? It is everything that Joanna is doing, her storytelling, she's you guys need to live it and be in spirit, you know, finding purpose. She has found purpose through her every day, because not because she thought about it. You guys are thinking yourself out of it. It's because she's moving and it's finding her. For purpose finds you in your everyday when you're in motion, and you cannot be inspired if you are not in spirit. She is inspired and aspired to be 200K and beyond, and she will be. You guys speak it life into your life, right? So thank you so much for letting me speak. It's such a touching, like I literally cried all day yesterday. I told Joanna, I'm like, dude, I'm so overwhelmed. I couldn't even pack, like overwhelmed in a happy way, you guys. It's really fulfilling to be part of people's story that you know, it's really nice to have people in your corner that really want to see you win, right? And that's our team. That is our team. And the culture here is unmatched, but it starts with you. I talk about culture all day. You know, culture is happening and created, whether it's with you or without you. Let it be with you. And that's why our team is solid, because it starts with one yes. It started with Twin, Jackie, me, Crystal, Tiny, everyone, right? So represent, you guys, represent the best. The best of the best is being different. Double down on who you are, what you represent. What is your purpose? What is your mission? Share the opportunity. Share it big. I'm not afraid to share it big, right? Because why? It goes back to your mission. So thank you so much, Joanna. You're amazing. Thank you, Crystal, Sun, everybody, you know, our uplines, like amazing. I can't wait to continue to watch you, Joanna. Like it's going to be amazing. After this lifestyle getaway, you guys, I told Joanna, I give her homework every day. Everybody that asks me, even Verge till this day, homework. I'm giving them homework on the vacation. I'm like, look, I wish I was intentional. I'm doing this on vacation. I'm going to give it to you guys too. So this is what you're going to do. You guys, we are supporting our people. Don't just cool it, right? Help them. What is their next step, right? What is the next step? But we won't know if you guys don't ask. So like that one element that Joanna has, she ain't afraid to ask. And when you ask, you're curious. For example, I'm going to say this before I let go. Avery, like, can I look at toys on Amazon? I said, no. He goes, why? I was like, the more you look at it, the more that you want it. You're going to keep wanting it. Curiosity leads to, I need that. I keep looking at it. I need that. I keep looking at Thrive for Free. I keep looking at that opportunity. I keep looking at her go to those lifestyle getaways. I keep looking at those lives. I want it. That is where it's at, you guys. Those massive actions. Like, let your learning lead to action. Let your learning lead to action. Let your spirit lead you to the next step. Trust yourself. Joanna, I will say, she trusts herself. Her intuition is strong. You guys know that, right? I could say so many amazing things on why she's where she is. She's very intuitive, but she listens to herself. Listen to yourself. I wish I listened to my younger self. So thank you. I could go on because I'm so passionate, but love you guys.
Thank you for sharing so much. I know that, you know, like going back to her journey and your journey and Jackie's, like, I just remember that there was a time, like, you guys, there's so many ups and downs, like but you have to like be able to sustain, you know, because you never know. Like, imagine if you're just like, okay, well, it's down season. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to stick and stay. I'm just going to go off and do whatever. Right. Like, imagine if Ange quit. Like, imagine if she stopped sharing and stopped showing up for her team. Right. Like, who knows, like what would have happened? There might have not been a Joanna. Right. And I remember when she came along, I was like, this is going to be good. Like, I know when momentum comes in, and I know like we've all seen it before, right? And Joanna, you were like that missing piece that came in during a time when it was so needed, because you showed everyone again that this business, this team, this culture, this community is needed. And you just came in running, and you went with this huge momentum, and you inspired Angela again to have purpose. Like, she was looking, right? And she was looking for the willing. She was just like, who's next? Like, whose life can I change next? And, you know, like, I know you guys see Ange and you're like, oh, she's a 3-time GOAT. Like, the last LV millionaire, like da 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 da, like, but you know, it is hard to be on the top. It's not easy being on the top and being like one of the best of the best. Like it really is difficult. And so there was a saying that I told Ange before. I'm like, difficult is a crown that she wears, but she wears it like so gracefully, right? Like I may have botched that quote, but I mean, if you guys have heard the quote before, then you know, like it's not easy being on top, right? But to be able to bring your team up along with you and to be able to help them and for them to like start to shine, like that is like where it's at. Like that is truly where the gold is at, because then you're just like, oh yes, you know, like it's lonely at the top. Right. So thank you, Joanna, for inspiring and giving Ange purpose and for giving all of us that purpose and that inspiration to know that there is someone else out there looking for this opportunity. There are many more hundreds and thousands of lives that we are going to continue to change. Like in 10 years, we will still be here. In 20 years, we will still be here. And then our kids can even inherit our accounts. I don't know if you guys know that, but this is a legacy business. And as long as this business and this company is around and we are around with this culture and this community, you better believe your kids are going to have something for them, right? And they're going to also develop into these amazing people who love and help other people in this world, right? So, I want to let you guys go. I know you guys are like heading to Cancun. I am so excited. I am so happy for you guys. We for sure are FOMO. And so I just wanted to tell you guys that I love you all. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are freaking amazing. Keep on crushing it. Do you want to say bye?
Congratulations!
Congrats, congrats, congrats.
Have fun, enjoy all the memories, create the memories, be that change that you wish to see, be that energy out there, and let people know what's good. Love you all.
Love you guys. Bye. See you guys next week.